What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Happy Green Day. And of course, we've got macro data coming out tomorrow. So do expect volatility in the markets tomorrow. As always, there is a lot to go through. Now, first thing you will see is that the SEC has just passed, SEC Chair Paul Atkins announced that DeFi platforms will be exempt from regulatory restrictions to be precise. He stated that the right to have self-custody of one's private property is a fundamental American value. Crypto is bullish, guys. You know, the haters will keep hating, but stay in this space because you have no other choice, because there's no other asset that will potentially make you money if you make the right choices. Ethereum ETFs. Now, this is something that I did absolutely call in the Discord the other day, and we talked about who was buying what, because more often than not, people hear that the ETFs inflows, Blackrock is buying. But how do you know Blackrock is buying, right? So most people don't actually go through the data, and again, that's the easiest form of manipulation, because during a bull market top, all this bullish news will continue to come out without any ending until they catch us out. So I have actually posted this, and again, the inflows were very impressive. Don't take my word for it. Let's have a look at the data. So BlackRock's ETHA, which is the ticker for the BlackRock ETF, actually accumulated June 3rd, 4th, and May 30th, significant amounts, strong signal. The world's largest asset manager was buying Ethereum. And how do we know that? So let's go through the data ourselves. Again, you have, Fidelity, you have different kind of ETF providers. You go BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, 21 shares, VanEck, Invesco, Franklin, Grayscale, and so forth, right? So let's look at ETHA. We want to actually know what BlackRock has bought, okay? So that the data is from the 15th of May to, of course, very recently. And you can see here, big days, 71 million, 73 million, 70 million on the 30th of May, 70 million on the 50 million, 52 million, 23rd of May, 52 million. And again, that has been happening consistently. And again, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. So you've got to really understand why Ethereum staking plus ETFs is going to put tremendous amount of pressure into anybody who's actually in altcoins, because I think that directly translates to, Ethereum dominance at some point, where this TradFi money is flowing in insane. If you invested $10,000 in TLT exactly 10 years ago, you would have 9,500 today, dividends included, no inflation adjusted. That is horrendous. And for all of the, there's a lot of idiots anyway. They get annoyed, hecklers, and they talk about stupid tokens that I'm not even talking about right now, that I spoke about once upon a time. Guys, if you don't want to invest in crypto, just go into bonds. Go buy 20-year treasury bonds and hold less than what you held 10 years ago, right? The get-rich-quick mentality of crypto investors is what wrecks them. They sell a bag, they go bag hopping. If you believe in something, just hold it. You should have, for most of your bags, enough conviction for you to say, I'm going to hold this till it goes to X amount, or I'm going to actually sell it and trade it. But you have to decide what your strategy is, all right? So this is quite interesting. I mean, absolute insanity. Other news as well. If you look at Bitcoin back on June 2021, June 8, Bitcoin was at 33,472. ETH was at 2,497. June 8, 2025, Bitcoin 108, Ethereum 25, $100 difference. Insanity. Well, it's actually 26 plus. Okay. Huge news here. Sovereign wealth funds are buying crypto. Check this out.
They explain what their views are. What are they saying about Bitcoin right now? Are they all like buying it up and not announcing it yet, or what's going on?
Yeah, so I think they are. I think they are buying it. I think they're buying it on the margin. I don't think it's going to be a gigantic groundswell of buying until we greenlight legislation in the United States. So if you tell me before the end of the congressional term, we've got a stablecoin regulation, We've got guidance for money center banks on how they can custody Bitcoin and other assets. And we have some discussion about the tokenization of stocks and bonds and other assets. Then I will tell you that there'll be large blocks of buying, or there people worth 10, 20, 30 trillion dollars buying $500 million of Bitcoin, buying $1 billion of Bitcoin. Yes. Are the people on the margin buying Bitcoin today? Yes. But if you want to see $1 million Bitcoin, that's when somebody at a sovereign says, okay, this is part of the infrastructure of the world's financial services architecture, a result of which I have to own some of this property, I have to own this rail system. And they try to establish 1%, 2%, 3% positions in their portfolio. And so again, I think you're with me on this, where this is my position, Brett Messing, Skybridge Capital's position, that Bitcoin is an asset class. If Bitcoin's an asset class, then it trades 20, 30 trillion dollars in market capitalization akin to gold. If it's an investment, then it will be in the $1, $2, $3 trillion area alongside of the Mag 7 stocks as an interesting investment and a potentially heirloom collectible. But if you're telling me that things like Stacks, the Lightning Network, things are going to start to evolve in the system that allows us to use Bitcoin in a varying different.
So he's talking about Bitcoin DeFi there. Now, of course, he did say Lightning Network. He talked about Stacks. There's also Tap Protocol, or TapFi as it's called right now. Again, I'm not saying that you go and buy these projects, right? Tap Protocol is a, Bitcoin layer 2. Tapify, is it called now? Tapify, I think, something like that. Yeah, there you go. Tapify Bitcoin, again, trading volume is 144,000. Chart looks horrendous. Again, inflation here is pretty bad. However, it's doing what Stack's doing, and it's a native layer for Bitcoin native smart contract layer. So think long term. Don't look at this right now for quick gains. In certain aspects, what they're talking about here is doing a native Bitcoin DeFi or native Bitcoin layer 2, where he actually specifically mentions not Tap Protocol, but Stacks. He also mentions TradFi. He talked about how TradFi is huge, and he particularly talked about how we can get Stacks working. Now, Stacks, regardless of the market cap, at $1 billion, Stacks is actually an interesting protocol. Why? Because Stacks is an activate the Bitcoin economy with the leading Bitcoin layer 2. Now, this hasn't always been ripping any trees, but if you think of $1 billion, how much of the trillions locked into Bitcoin can this actually genuinely garner and have access to? Remains to be seen. This has wallets, it has projects, it has built stuff on top of it. All of this is designed for Bitcoin as a native layer, and then Stacks and Tap Protocol and few of these others to actually open the liquidity of Bitcoin. It's a long-term game, but it is something worth noting. And of course, these are all competing to be Bitcoin's layer 2, because Bitcoin does need a layer 2. What's happening tomorrow? Big things. CPI, of course, is expected to come in hot. Expect volatility, and that is always going to be the case. Now, you always see these charts are annoying because people say we are here. And you somewhat kind of look at that. And again, accumulation, disbelief, uncertainty. And it looks pretty much how the market distribution kind of looks like. But we haven't seen euphoria, and we haven't really seen any form of, even in optimism, I would say. So, and we don't want to be in overconfidence. Definitely not seeing that. Anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation. I mean, we've just left the station right here during just a brief decline that we've had. So interesting to watch. But like I said, I have actually also called the Bitcoin. Again, you need to be in our Discord to really take advantage of this. But this was my call over the weekend for Bitcoin, right? Flip 104 into support, golden cross. And again, this is called the bullish case for a Bitcoin continuation. And I posted that on the 7th of June, again, building with the team internally, because I got to keep everyone updated. So 200, so again, 50 crosses the 200, that's bullish. We really need to claim 104. We did that. This level acted as a key resistance in late 2024 and early 25. We've broken that. And of course, we're going to try and hold that as support level. Anything above that for me is Bitcoin and crypto bull market continuation. Anything below that is absolutely bearish. Now, when I did this yesterday, a lot of people were asking me, oh, what about this coin or that coin? If it's not included in that list, whether I have it or not is irrelevant. It's just I haven't spoken about it. Okay? So you have to understand, I'm trying to help people to focus and not give you 200 different coins. So this is a curated list of tokens that I have that I think will do very well and that people could still have, but of course, depending on their budget, depending on the size of their investment and the reasons. I've highlighted as to the reasons why I want to have a small layer one. I want to have a large cap layer one. I want to have the best AI project. I want to have the best AI agent. And then I want to go and speculate on fewer lower cap plays. I want to have the infrastructure, main gaming infrastructure that's Beam. Then I want to speculate on a Moon Tropica or what I see undervalued, like Prime. And of course, Marvia. Marvia could do anything. There's a 10 million Marvia getting unlocked at the end of or sometime in August. And then next unlock after that would be in November, another 10 million. That's quite significant amount of inflation. But there is those two unlocks to be wary of. Now, if we absorb the one in July with these low prices anyway, or August, we must sell on the one in November, but that's providing we get better market conditions. And I do believe the market will top late this year, early next year. Okay. Ondo Finance, you just heard Scaramucci talk about TradFi, tokenization. What are we doing, guys? You know, we've got to really position our portfolio. Even if you're holding 5 coins, hold them with conviction and then sprinkle some degen stuff around, of course, as always. And then what we have is, what else did I want to talk about? Let me just get rid of this. Cocoro. Cocoro is doing exceptionally well. Prices are up, of course, across the board, but I'm glad to see Cocoro do really, really well. And that's a good thing. Of course, Bitcoin dominance, bearish, bearish, bearish. Again, we want that Bitcoin dominance to come crashing down, really ideally to these levels here. Get oversold, get crashing, go into bearish mode again. The total market cap is an interesting one for me as well, guys. So if I look at the total, let's have a look at this. What is this? So this is the total crypto market cap. Let's look at this on a weekly or even on a monthly basis. So if you look at this over 4 years, right? 2021, this is the absolutely insanity that's total crypto market cap. 2021 top, 2024, 25 election rally over here. This is nothing. This is nothing. I'm expecting the total crypto market cap, actually the everything, to maybe hit around 5 trillion. And I'll explain the reasons why. So every time we come down to, let me just go to the daily. Every time we come here, we bounce off 979 billion, 1.69 trillion, 2.31 trillion. The next natural stop for me is at the top of this channel, 5.8 trillion, or at the very least somewhere close to that. If we do that, we will have a fantastic bull market, guys. You know, it almost means that the market doubles from where we are today at around 3.7 trillion into 6 trillion. So yeah, that is the thesis. Again, you know, we will watch the RSIs as well, because it's very important that these all become conflated and we have at least one last push from here to the upside. And then thank you very much. Sell everything. Sell it. Not in maze. Just sell and go away and come back with stable coins. Do another damage. Become the first multi-millionaire in your family. Your mindset should be over a longer term, not bloody, oh, I want to get rich with this coin right now. So going back to CPI, it's going to be hot. Again, that's the expectation. And it's expected that the rates will be unchanged in June as well. So inflation is going to go up, but the rates will remain the same because the Fed will use that. Again, Trump will ultimately try to replace Powell. And when that happens, expect fireworks. Initially, we will dip, but ultimately, the market knows that even if he announces a replacement, they know who's coming after him. So the guy after Trump is what the market's going to price in, if that makes sense. So get ready for tomorrow. Enjoy your green bubbles, guys. Well deserved. Again, nothing is bullish, nothing is bearish. We just look at the data, we make decisions, and all the best in terms of your investment, guys. Smash a like, share the video, and join the VIP group for just $9 a month. And of course, if you want intelligence, check out Nansen.ai. Links are in the description. Take care.